Hey there, welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my experience with different insurers, and I will be speaking mostly from a DJ's perspective, but some of these insurers do insure other industries, especially in the case of one of the insurers, which I'm probably going to focus on the most in today's video, which is Next Insurance. They are an online insurance provider, and I'll go a little bit more into that in this video, but I want to do a little bit of a comparison today, comparing different sizes and different names of insurers. So Next versus a more local company versus a really local company. Before we get too deep into this, I want to also explain that I have a very unique situation because I have a single sole proprietorship business that everything is within my name, but we do a lot of different services. Not only do I DJ, I also do marquee letter rentals, which is big enough to have its own insurance policy, but that falls under a different policy. It falls under what they call party rentals. So I have a separate insurance policy for that. I also have a DJ insurance policy, which covers when I DJ plus anything I bring along with me. So if I bring marquee letters as part of my DJ setup, then that falls under my DJ policy. And these nuances are something that I want to get into in today's video. Now, like I said, in today's video, I want to focus the most on Next Insurance. I have been with Next for just about a year now. My policy is about to renew, and that is who I have my party rentals policy through. Next is an online insurer that they do everything in what I'm going to call a kind of swanky way. They have that less professional looking, more millennial style font on their website. They do a lot of stuff through live chat and email. Basically impossible to get on the phone with someone, especially if you're from a small state like Rhode Island, like I am. And I'll get into that a little deeper as we get into more of the comparison section. Next offers insurance for a lot of different categories. But as we get into comparing, I'll explain how they don't offer insurance for some specific categories like a photo booth rental, at least from what they've told me, and I'll get into the nuances of that a little bit later. They do provide insurance for DJs, but my DJ insurance is through a different provider, which is RVNA and Associates. I think it's RVNA.com or something like that. If you're a DJ, you've probably heard of this company as they do a lot of insurance for DJs and different event industry people. They actually have discounts for American Disc Jockey Association members, which is how I originally got involved with them. Prior to that, I had HISCOX, which was a larger insurance company. Fun fact, HISCOX does not offer party rental insurance. They do offer DJ insurance still, at least to my knowledge. RVNA, as I'm going to refer to it in the rest of this video, is a more medium-sized insurer. They do insure companies across the country, but they are more of a family-run, smaller-size business compared to something like Next, which is what I would say much more corporatized. So I'm currently working with a local insurer. I actually just got off the phone before starting to record this video, and they're going to attempt to help me find a policy that better fits what I do in my business. And in general, I would say that at the local level, you're going to have a lot easier time finding someone who can do things a little more customized to what your needs are. I have been in business as a DJ for about 12 years now, and then about a year and a half ago I took over the marquee letter rental company, and I've always provided some side services like speaker and microphone rental type stuff, audio-visual rental, that kind of thing, and photo booth rentals separately from DJing. I've had a hard time finding insurance to cover some of these weird odds and ends sort of things. And unfortunately, it's going to take a couple of weeks to figure out if I can even get insurance for some of these odds and ends. So unfortunately, I can't go into that note in this video, but I'm assuming most people are going to be focused on a singular area, such as DJing, party rentals, audiovisual services, whatever. As with any review or comparison video, I have to start with talking about price. So what I paid next for my party rentals insurance policy in the last year was $300. The renewal notice I got actually said it's going to go down because they're removing some sort of coverage from it, so it's going to be $285 for this year. They do base these things off of your gross sales at times, so those numbers could change. And this is just for commercial liability. I'm not going to get into like commercial property coverage because we're just open a whole nother can of worms. Most people are probably going to be mostly dealing with their commercial liability. And I think you'll find that the prices are going to reflect pretty similarly across different categories like that. My RVNA DJ policy, I think it's around $250 a year for that policy. So it's a little bit cheaper. I certainly do a higher dollar value of sales on the DJ side. The coverage on that is actually a little bit better in what it includes, but you'll find anywhere that a marquee policy is going to cost, or a party rentals policy is going to cost more than a DJ policy basically everywhere you look. I can say that when I had a policy with HISCOX insurance, I think they're out of New York or something, that DJ policy was $350 a year. So that was actually on the expensive side. I'd imagine it's probably gone up in the past 5 years or so. So certainly not the most affordable, but definitely better service, something like Next. Now, I haven't been able to get a quote from a local insurance agency that I spoke with this morning because they just don't have enough information. And like I said, with them, I'm working more on a custom policy. I'd say in general, a lot of smaller local agencies, they don't want to deal with your $300 a year policy. It's just too small for them. Any people that want to chime in on that in the comments, please feel free to do so. Also, if you happen to know anyone who can cover DJ, party rentals, and audiovisual and photo booth type stuff all under one policy, or say 2 or 3 policies but with one insurer, please let me know in the comments because I would love to find someone that can just do it all. I'm sick of having 2, 3 different insurers for, a sole proprietorship business. So with Next Insurance and the coverage themselves, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, they will cover a DJ policy, they'll cover a party rentals policy, they'll cover a photo booth rental if it's a rental, not operated, and they cover that under audio-visual equipment rental, which is also can't have an operator. So I find the nuances to their policies very annoying sometimes, and you'll sometimes get conflicting answers. Now, another thing is if you call them, they're probably going to say, we can't find a Rhode Island licensed agent right now, and so it seems like they only have one Rhode Island licensed person that can answer those questions, and because of that, you usually have to email back and forth with them to get any detailed answers about what a policy can include or something like that. Now, if you're in a bigger state, then that might not be a problem, but I think how they represent a smaller state is fairly important still. I've never had this problem with RVNA or really any other insurer, and of course, the larger company you go with, the more of a problem you're probably going to have with, finding a licensed agent in your specific state, because they spread a lot of resources out across a lot of states. Now, I can ask RVNA the most detailed questions and I'll get a very detailed response, and their coverage covers a little bit more than your typical Next insurance policy does. I don't know why that is. I don't know insurance well enough to say why, but I would assume that there's probably some licensing and requirements and stuff behind it that make it not a profitable decision for Next. It seems just like RVNA is a little more flexible with people, so if you're a DJ watching this video and you're looking for insurance, I would definitely recommend going the RVNA route. If you're an electrician, plumber, carpenter, RVNA isn't going to be able to service that. Next is probably a better option for you, just like I did with my party rentals insurance. I like Next as an insurer, but I'm not a fan of some of the ways that they choose to communicate. What I mentioned at the start of the video about them being more swanky, they do a lot by text, and they'll send you a text and an email, And I'm not a big fan of that. Call me old school, but I prefer to just be emailed if it's something business related. And I actually had an issue happen where my business phone number was not through OpenPhone at the time, and it was through Twilio. And with Twilio, you pay per text, and they had texted the business number, which did not accept text, and replied, "We can't take text at this number." And then it became this feedback loop between these two automated numbers saying, "We don't take text, we can't accept text." And it cost me like $40 within a day worth of texts back and forth until I could stop it from sending like the 10,000th text. So I'm not a fan of it. It works okay now that I use OpenPhone because it's not a problem anymore. I'm just not a fan of that method of communication in general. So I've begun to mention OpenPhone in this video. And what is OpenPhone? Well, it's an app on my phone that I can take calls, texts, make calls and texts, and have a lot of business phone number features like a IVR, which is an interactive voice response. So press 1 for sales, press 2 for service, whatever it may be in your situation. And I've been using OpenPhone for probably about 6 months now. I was using Twilio previously, and OpenPhone is such a huge improvement. It's much more user-friendly. I will leave a link in the description to sign up with my OpenPhone referral code, and you will get a $20 credit on your OpenPhone account when you sign up. Another kind of weird, nuancy thing about Next Insurance is that you can only have one policy category per email for an account. So if I have a party rentals policy, that policy is going to go under, say, alex@itslitri.com. If I have a property insurance policy with, for party rentals, it also falls under that alex@itslitri.com. But if I wanted to open a DJ policy with them, I would need to put it under a new account, under a new email, and a different phone number, which I could do, but that's very annoying to me because then you need to have 2 separate accounts, 2 logins. Now you're getting double the text from them. I want to give a little bit of a disclaimer as we kind of wrap up this video. If you're a DJ, you do DJ events, you have a DJ insurance policy, and you rent a photo booth separately, say you send an operator with a photo booth to an event without a DJ, you may need a separate insurance policy for that. Actually, you probably do. It's probably not covered. You might need a photographer's policy for that. Again, insurance is very nuanced. Speak with a licensed insurance agent to figure that out exactly. I believe RVNA can insure that situation where they'll consider it photographer's insurance and insure just a photo booth going out. I've seen a lot of DJ companies in my area, as they grow, they start to add audio guest books, which is, like the phone that you pick it up and you leave a message and that's your guest book. Now, if you're combining all this stuff with a DJ setup, you can probably have that covered under your DJ insurance policy. But as soon as you start renting those things separately, if you're renting an audio guest book, that's probably going to become a party rental, not part of your DJ policy. So be aware that as you grow, things usually get more nuanced. So if you start doing photo booth, like I said, you might need a different policy for that. Again, I am not a licensed insurance agent, so I can't tell you what you are and are not going to need. That's what you call the pros for. Well, so that about wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave me a comment in the comment section, especially if you have an insurer that might be able to handle my situation. Also, make sure to leave a thumbs up on it. My takeaway from this video is it's your decision to make the choice of which insurer is going to be best for you. If you're a DJ, I think RVNA is the best. If you're, doing party rentals, then Next might be the best. I think that's more, the viewer's decision. If you enjoyed the video to the point that you want to see more, make sure you check out the recommendations that are about to pop up at the end of the video, and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to stay up to date when I post new videos like this one. That's it for now. Peace.